Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is the Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games in a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Draft Day College Basketball 2017, and we are the Olympic Decathlon Rings. It's a lower league manager series instead of regular college basketball. We have a promotion relegation system, and we started ourselves all the way down in Division 23 out of 23. We moved up last season to Division 22 after finishing first during the regular season in our third season. But then last year, things fell apart as we hit the conference schedule, which is actually where we're at right now for this season. This is the first game of the conference schedule. And last season, we ended up finishing in 13th out of 16 teams, the bottom four, just inside that bottom four, and that is the relegation zone. So we did fall down, back down to Conference V, and that's where we're at now. We started the season 5-6. Our non-conference schedule was just 5 wins, but we had a pretty tough schedule this year. We faced one really tough team at home, and we faced a number of teams on the road that normally we might be able to beat, but we're just not that strong of a home team. So we are into the second half of this game. It's just a 2-point game. We are playing Winston-Salem, who might be the best team in the league this year, and we're actually hanging with them at this point. We've got a lead with just 8 minutes to play, and I'm actually going to slow it down. Let's have ourselves a game here in the last 6 minutes. We are up 3 points. They have the ball right now. Media time out. So we're just under 6 minutes to play. Steal by Clifton Jennings, and Dawson takes a fast break and makes the layup. We are up 60-55. They miss a 3. Marsh grabs the rebound. 5 minutes to play. Statistically, Clifton Jennings has 8 points. Isaac Kidd has 6. He just got 1 of 3 free throws. They miss their 3-point shot, and Neely grabs a rebound. But Collins, who's in there, turns the ball over. He's got 0 stats today except for 2 turnovers and 2 blocks. So point guard with 2 blocks. Interesting. Let's see. After the turnover, they miss their next jumper. We grab the rebound, but we miss. Neely misses with their shot blocked. They get the rebound and make their layup to close the lead. We miss the rebound, but get the rebound and miss the putback again. And we got a lot going on here. We're down to the last 2 minutes. 3-point lead. We might use a timeout here. See if we can't get things under control. That's after the steal. After the timeout, Isaac Kidd makes the jumper, putting us up 5 with just a minute and a half to play. This would be a great victory for us. It is on the road. Go to the free throw line. Blackman does, making both free throws. All right, slowing it down. 30 seconds left in the game. We are up 7. It looks like we might actually come out of this with a win, but Calvin Myers for Winston-Salem drains the 3, closing the gap, but they put us back on the line after we inbound the ball. We make a 1 of 2, Charles George does. That nice balance. Dawson, 12 points, now 14. Favors, 10. Low, 10. Blackman, 10. We're up 7. Time's up. They nail the 3 on the buzzer beater, but it only closes the lead to 4. Rebounding, 34-30. 5 blocks to their 7. 13 steals on the day, so good job forcing a lot of turnovers. We had a lot more than we normally have, but it was a tough road game. So 15 turnovers, but forced 24. We were only 37% from the field. They were 47% from the field. So we had no business winning that game, but we had 62 shots and they only had 49. Both teams shot the ball well from the free throw line, and we were 6 of 16 beyond the arc. They were 7 of 17, and both teams committed 10 fouls. So that was a really tight game. Very fortunate that we were able to come out on top on that one. Great job second half. 10 points. A lot of back and forth. 6 ties. 11 lead changes. And we win our conference opener to bring our record to 6-6. Next up is Savannah State at home, who is 4-8. There's absolutely no reason we shouldn't control that game. Now, checking in with the progress of the team, especially if you did not see the last episode. We are now in season number 5. There's only a single player left on our roster who is not someone that we ourselves recruited. That is Booker Grimes. He was a freshman, a true freshman, when I came in. He redshirted a year, which is why, even though it's season number 5 right now, he's still on the team. He's a redshirt senior. He's also pretty much never played for us. He had a total of 6 minutes going into this season, partially because, well, he was too weak. He was at the very, very bottom end of the depth chart. And then he redshirted, so he sat out a season. The next year, he was still at the bottom of the depth chart. We did get that second win, by the way. We are 7-6 now. But then, I want to take a look at him now. Booker Grimes has spent the last year and a half ineligible due to grades. He has finally, as of just about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, become eligible, basically, as we started the conference schedule. So we are 2 games now into his era of eligibility, and he still has yet to play. So you can see in his entire career, he's played 6 minutes. So it'll be interesting to follow his progress this season and see how many games he can get himself into and if he'll have any impact as the last of the old era comes and goes. All right, so SIU Edwardsville, who is 4-9, is next up, and it's a home game. So we should be able to win this one. I would think there's a pretty good chance that we could go undefeated at home here in the conference schedule. And yes, we do get the win, but we have an injured player. Bad news. That statement I just made about winning every game at home the rest of the season, well, that had to do with a healthy team. So we'll see what the damage is. Next up, North DC on the road, and they are 7-7, so that's not going to be an easy game. But we also just won our last road game, but I don't think we're going to win all of our road games this season by any means. So this could be our first conference loss of the season. Coming up here in just a moment. Let's see. We need to check our roster to see who is hurt. Oh, it's Ian Dawson. So our senior leader is injured. And how bad is it? Mild concussion. It shouldn't be out too long with that, with a mild concussion. Okay, so I don't know how much time he's going to miss. I know there's a way to check this. Maybe it's in team stats. No, it's not team stats. Actually, while I'm here, take a look at how we're doing. We are leading the way in points per game. Not in field goal percentage, though. But we're near the top. How about three-pointers made? No, we're actually pretty low on three-pointers made. About free throw line. We get to the free throw line a lot. And we make most of our shots. And I'm guessing this is points per possession, though PPS wouldn't stand for that. Or possessions per score. There you go. Let's see. I still haven't seen where I'll be able to go with injury report. There we go. Took me a second, but I remembered. And let's just skip to our conference. Oh, Isaac Kidd too. I missed that earlier. No, it's on the same day. Ouch. So we lost Ian Dawson and Isaac Kidd. Ian Dawson's just going to be out for about 4 days, mild concussion. But it's going to be mid-February before we get Isaac Kidd back. So we need to definitely change our depth chart. So Isaac Kidd is out as well. Alright, I guess we don't have to change that. And it probably will automatically deal with the Ian Dawson situation. Aki Collins should be okay stepping in. But with 2 guys out injured, not so sure if we're going to be able to take care of North DC here on the road. So we'll find out here in a moment. Checking in on team stats, David Blackman continues to raise the bar since we changed the depth chart. He's up to 13.5 points per game. Ian Dawson, nearly 6 assists a game now. Blackman also leading on rebounds at just 5, so that's actually one area where we're struggling a little bit. Charles George pulling down about 1 block per game and just over 1 steal per game. We did lose that game, so we dropped to 3-1 in conference. But we've got Maryland Eastern Shore up next. They're just 5-10, and we are at home. So we should be able to pull off our 4th conference win here in the near future.
You have new mail.
Ian Dawson should be back now, so he probably missed just that last game, but we'll have him back for this Maryland game. Okay, these are all scouting reports. Let's see, we've got Maryland. So Ithaca will be up next. They're 6-7. South Carolina is 6-9, and Seattle U is 8-7. That's our upcoming games. It is mid-January now, so it's a month before we're going to get back our center who's injured. I'm drawing a blank on his name at the moment. All right. I suspect we're going to go to 9-7 on the year, 4-1 in conference. Yes, we do. Next up is Ithaca on the road. They are 8-8, so they're not going to make it easy on us here. It's potentially a winnable game, but I would suspect that we're probably going to come out the lesser of the 2 in this game. Oh, nice. We got the win. 10th win on the year, 5-1 in conference, so we are capable of winning games on the road in conference this season. Next up is Seattle at home. They have the same record as us at 10-7, but I would give the edge to us playing at home.
You have new mail.
Okay, Nebraska Omaha 9-8. A lot of teams right around that 500 mark this year, so we're kind of right in the middle of the mix on that. And 6 games into the conference schedule. Look at that. This is a championship matchup right here. Seattle and us, top of the conference, tied for first at 5-1 each, and both with identical 10-7 records this year. The only team with anything better than that is Jacksonville at 11-6, but they are just 2-4 in conference. That looks a lot like how our last season went. All right. Well, I think we're on our way to a top 4 finish, so we should be bouncing back up, rubber banding our way back to Conference U for next season. All right, this is a big game with Seattle coming up. Maybe I should actually watch that game. That's probably one you want to see. Well, let's check it out then. This will be our game to sim for this back half of the season, at least until we get to conference tournament, which we might be able to get to on this episode. Then we're going to have to work pretty fast through the rest of the season, probably have this be our only game cast. All right, big matchup, Seattle U, Northwest rivals. And Dawson back in the lineup. We have our starting 5. Just one injury to the roster. Still plenty of depth. All right, well, we're going to play quick through the first half. If we have a close game, we will slow it down again. We get the first points on the board. In fact, we start 5-0 in this game. We're starting by grabbing most of the rebounds. We were 9-5 there for a moment, 9-6, 10-7, so fairly balanced, but the edge is definitely going towards us. First turnover of the game goes to Seattle U, so both teams are protecting the ball well. Just a 4-point lead through the first 10 minutes of the first half. Balanced scoring, no one player pushing ahead of anybody else. Reginald Neely just got his 6 points before coming off. David Blackman now, he's starting to pick up the pace. He's got 8 points here in the first half and 5 boards. All right, we're heading into halftime with a 12-point lead, 32-20 at half. Rebounds are even. Turnovers is one area where we are definitely controlling the game. It's 9-3, so we have a good edge there. If we could only shoot the ball a little better, I think we would be well ahead. Both teams down in the 20s shooting percentage. We are 0 for 13 from beyond the arc. That is what's keeping this game close. With 10 minutes to play, we are only up by, well, now 3. It's that shooting percentage. Yikes. Let's go ahead and use a timeout to try to get things under control. There's a timeout. Preston Favors comes out, misses another shot almost immediately. So we could be blowing Seattle away in this game if we were only shooting a little better. They at least are shooting 30%. 12 of 52 from the field. This is ugly. 4 minutes to play. We're in danger of losing this game based on our inability to shoot. Only 6 fouls called on Seattle in the whole game so far. And they're killing us on blocks and 3-pointers. Otherwise, well, if we could shoot, we would be well ahead of them right here. Another miss, another miss, another miss. Doesn't matter where we're taking it, inside, outside, regular jumpers. They are all misses, and it's the free throw line where Seattle has now pulled ahead. We've used all of our 30s. We only have 1 full timeout left. We are down to 1.5 minutes. And we are down 3 points. David Blackman finally makes a shot, makes the layup. Blocked on that next one. Getting inside a minute. I'll use that last timeout somewhere around the 42nd mark. Turnover from Ian Dawson. This could not go our way, especially with our shooting. I mean, you can't expect a team to make a shot right now. They make both free throws, stretching the lead to 5. There goes our last time out of the game. We need a big possession here. We could really use the 3-pointer. We get fouled, but Charles George at least makes both free throws this time. He's at 12 points. Blackman's at 16 and 10. He's got a double-double going. And that's it. That's the game. We lose by 1. We make a layup there at the end. Preston Favors, after the steal, fast breaks it, but there was only 7 seconds left, and they could not and did not foul immediately. Come on, guys. You should know better than that. Well, that's it. We lose the game, shooting just 23% from the field. Absolutely the reason for the loss. We were up comfortably, but could not hit a shot for the life of us in that game. Is that Seattle U's defense? Is that good, or was our offense really off today? Can't say for sure without seeing other games, but poor performance by the team, and we drop to 10 and 8, and we slip from the lead in the conference. We've got South Carolina Upstate next. Their name is long enough that we don't see their record right now, but I did see it a little bit ago, and I think they were around 500. And we do get the road win. Nicely done. So we bring our record back up to 6-2. North Dakota is at home next. They have identical 11-8 records. As long as the team can shoot a little better, I think we'd be fine.
You have
and should win that game. I don't think we'll lose 2 home games in a row. Okay. Top 30 MVP picks. UConn's players on top. Duke is second. Kansas third. A player from Utah. We haven't seen a player from Utah in quite a few years as a favorite for MVP. I'm trying to remember the name of the guy who used to play at Utah. It was back before the Pac-10 became the Pac-12. It was just about a year or two before Utah joined the Pac-12. I went to University of Oregon, so that's kind of what I know best is Pac-10/Pac-12 basketball. And yeah, I can't remember who that was. Anyway, let's get back out there. Let's see if we can deal with North Dakota and get back to our winning ways at home in the conference. No, we do not. We drop to 6-3 in conference. We pick up our 9th loss of the year. North Dakota wins the game. So we've lost 2 in a row at home, albeit to tough teams, but really expect more from our team right now. Next up, Nebraska-Omaha, a weaker team, but it is on the road, so we very well could make it losses in 3 of 4. And we do. We drop our 3rd game in 4. Next up is Easton, another decent team at 12-9 at home. This is turning out to be a pretty tough season for us. Nothing's guaranteed here. No real player has emerged as a dominant force for us. Let's go ahead and get through this next week. I want to see. We are approaching the end of the regular season. And we'll see where we're at in terms of rankings. Slipping to 6-4, I would definitely say we're outside of the top 3 now. We do get the win at home on that one. We got Kennesaw State next. They're just 9-13. We're going on the road. If we can get to 8-4, I think we might be able to climb back into the top 3. Obviously, I'm not looking at the standings. You're looking at the same thing I am, but I would assume that that's about where we're at. And we cannot get the win, so we drop the road game. Slip to 7-5. We'll be in the top half with a 7-5 record, but we're not going to be in the top 3 by any means at this point. Next up, Presbyterian. That should be a win. But we're going to have to pull off a couple of road wins if we're going to see ourselves climb in. We are reaching mid-February, so we should be getting, let's see, where is it? Isaac Kidd back here soon, our freshman. Or no, not freshman. He was a junior college transfer. George and Kidd were both recruited this year, but Kidd's coming in as a JC transfer. Let's take a look at the stats. I haven't looked at that actually any season, really. Dawson missed his 1 game due to injury. Looks like George has sat out 1 game. Kidd has missed these number of games, and then it's Cole, who hasn't played a whole lot. Walter, little, just a little. Booker Grimes still has not gotten into a game yet this season. Let's see. Ian Dawson leading the way in minutes. He is the senior, so not surprised there. Marcus Lowe picking up a decent 28 minutes as well. And then things spread out a bit from there. Starts have mostly gone to these guys since we changed the lineup. These were the ones who had the early starts, and things didn't go terribly well during that time. David Blackman's putting the most field goals in per game. And shooting percentage, Billy Marshall, nice, 72%. Of course, he's only had a handful of shots. Julian Marsh is shooting well, 65% from the field. Blackman, 56%. Where's our struggles? Aki Collins, just 29% from the field. And Ian Dawson, 35%. Preston Favors, 35%. And Neely at about 40%. Who's draining the threes? Preston Favors and Reginald Neely leading the way there. And who's helping from the stripe, the charity stripe? It's David Blackman. Free throw percentage, Isaac Kidd struggling a bit at 58%. And my rebounders on the offensive side, Charles George leading the way. Defensive side, it's Marcus Lowe. Blackman right behind him. Dawson doing a good job grabbing 3 boards a game. Total rebounds, pretty spread out. I'd really like to see a player somewhere up around 7 or 8 on that. Assists, definitely Ian Dawson leading the way. Aki Collins with 14 minutes. Well, half of the minutes compared to Dawson. You would expect half the assists. Not quite half. So not quite the same level of performance from Aki Collins, but still, that's okay. Both of them could be better, though. Charles George definitely leading the way in steals and blocks, though Blackman's pretty close behind, and Isaac Kidd was doing an okay job. Turnovers, Ian Dawson's the one struggling to hang on to the ball, but 3 is still not that bad. Assist to turnover ratio, nobody's that awful except for Billy Marshall, just 0.2. Fouls, nobody's having consistent foul trouble. And there's that points per game. David Blackman's continuing to climb up to 13.4 points per game. And Marcus Lowe, nobody else is above 10 points a game. So we are very well spread when it comes to point distribution. But Blackman, the JC transfer junior out of Austin, Texas, is leading the way on scoring this season. All right, well, let's get back out there and let's wrap this season up. Let's check those standings. We are just in the upper middle of the pack, and look how tight it is. 7-5 and 8-4. 1 win with losses there can bump us right back up into the top 3. So this is going to be a very, very tight end of the season. We have 4 games to play, 2 at home, 2 on the road. We got Winston-Salem coming up again. But at home this time, and then Savannah State and SIU Edwardsville. So Presbyterian we can definitely beat. Winston-Salem is just 5-7 in conference. I think we can pull that one off as well. Savannah State's going to be real difficult though. They are 8-4 in conference, just 11-12 overall. But that is on the road, and SIU Edwardsville. I think we can win that game. They're only 3-9 in conference, 6-17 overall. Their RPI is very close to the bottom. So, if we can win 3 out of 4, let's see, that would make us 10-6. 10-6. I think that could maybe get us into the top 3 and get us that automatic promotion. It's a big ask though, because our performance definitely has not been that good this season. It's not been bad. We're plus 500, but only slightly. All right, this one definitely should be a win. Otherwise, our season will be derailed here. So this next game against Presbyterian is definitely seen as a must-win, and we do win. Winston-Salem, again, we really need this game if we're going to get top 3, but it's not going to derail the season if we lose. It's going to come down to the conference tournament if we happen to lose this one, though. Come on, come on. It's the day of the game. And there we go. Okay, we won at home. We needed to win both games at home. That was big. We need to try to get one of these 2 road wins. The second one's the more likely. If we beat Savannah State, though, I would definitely think we'll climb into the top 3 if we haven't already. Let's check those standings. With 2 games left to play in conference, we are currently back up to 3rd place, but our last 2 games here are on the road, and conference leader Savannah State is our next game. We would have identical conference records and a better win-loss record overall if we are able to beat Savannah State. Of course, we'd also have the head-to-head win, but they are 9-4 at home. We're just 5-7 on the road. So big ask. But if we can win that game, that would be huge. And SIU Edwardsville right down there at the bottom of the league, we can definitely win that one as well. They're only 4-5 at home. So the next game, if we win the next game, I think we'll definitely finish in the top 3. If we don't, it might come down to that conference tournament. All right, let's take it one day at a time. It's the 21st of February that's coming up. And we're on to the 20th. So it's going to be a couple days before we get to play. Here is that game. Moment of truth, Savannah State. We don't have time to watch it right now. Or do we? No. Here's what we're going to do. Cliffhanger time. We're going to stop it right there. We are 14-11. Savannah State is 13-12. They are the conference leader. We are on the road. Huge game coming up, and we're going to open the next episode with this game. So we're going to open with the game cast at the beginning of our next episode. So, with that intense moment, with things so close, chance for automatic promotion in the league, that does it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer, and remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe, and tune in next time on my road to the record.